guys, welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. Now today we're up on the tabletop is a game of warring kingdoms against lords and champions, and you're trying to earn spell power and might and glory, and that game is called Glory. Glory is by Slightly Twisted Games. It is for ages 13 up, about 45 to 75 minutes, and it's for 2 to 4 players. In Glory, you're basically going to select a champion, and everybody's going to do so and collect starting sorcery and might. And then you're going to be trying to either acquire different kinds of minions like orcs and elves and humans from the kingdom, or you're going to be trying to kill them. And when you kill enemies, you get glory. And when you obtain enemies to your tribe or your warring faction, you're going to be using them every turn to collect more and more sorcery and might. So the game is kind of a tableau builder, while at the same time you're trying to destroy as many minions as possible to get all that glory. Now if you get 20 glory, you win the game, although there's another way to win the game, and that's simple. If you have these certain lords you can buy. Some of them require you to have elite minions that are humans, as well as basic minions that are humans, and if you have this one as well, it's an extra victory condition. But in general, it's just that 20 glory. Now how big do you want to build that tableau to get as much glory as you possibly can? That's kind of up to you, but that's the name of the game, Glory. Alright, let me go ahead and show you what the game looks like. Alright guys, so here we have the setup for Glory. Now what you got over here is sorcery tokens, might tokens, and glory tokens. You just go ahead and set these aside. You're also going to have lord cards, elite cards, minion cards, and spell cards. Each player is going to get one of these cards right here, which are champions. You just go ahead and choose them at random, as well as starting coins. Now starting coins will be based over here on the far bottom right, and I'll tell you how many sorcery, how many might you get. As well as over here is a boon, which I'll talk about later. After each character's got their starting might and starting sorcery, as well as their characters, you're going to set up the minion deck. The minion deck is going to be twice the amount of characters in the game. So if you've got 2 players, it's 4. If you've got 3 players, it's 6, and so on and so forth, up to 4. Elite characters, you're going to have 1 extra plus the number of characters in play. And the Lord's deck is actually when it comes into play, which it doesn't come in to begin with, but when it does come into play, you're going to have the equal amount of players in the game, so you'll have 2 in a 2-player game. Spell cards doesn't matter as well, because spell cards are going to be bought during your turn, and let me go ahead and explain the turn order of the game, because this is exactly how you set it up. Okay, so the board is set up fully, and you're ready to begin the turns. Now, it's simple to determine who goes first. First, it's whoever has the most glory. Now, at the beginning of the game, no one's going to have any glory, so it'll be based on either a sorcery or a might, depending on the rules say. Afterwards, then it's glory, later on down the game, and so it's always going to be changing first player. After you decide that, then it's going to be based off of purchasing spells. And purchasing spells is fairly simple. You simply trade 3 of any type or category of different types, like a might and sorcery. So if you get 2 might and 1 sorcery, that's enough to buy a spell. And everyone can go around the table buying as many spells, up to 5 in their hand, as possible. After that, then you go and decide taking actions. And taking actions will be based on the first player as well. You can simply attack a monster, or you could try and devote them to your side. Or if that doesn't work, you can play a spell. Now, playing a spell is just the same as an action as would be to devote or fight a monster. And the final and last thing you can do is biding your time, which is basically like passing your turn. When you bide your time, you simply move your characters from the upright position and move them to a sideways position, and you acquire all of their boon. Now, not only do the characters that you acquire, but also the champion you start with has a boon just right next to the starting value, and that will give you additional sorcery and might throughout the game, so you can either fight more monsters or gain more glory by killing monsters. Okay, so after everybody has rested, obviously they've tapped their different characters. Now, if they have any of these guys here, or they just have their simple champions here, they tap them and they get their boon for each character. They collect from this pile over here. Yeah, it depends on what kind of character it is, depending on how much you're going to get. But there, done. Everybody's now biding their time, which means they're resting. That happens, and then the kingdom phase begins right afterwards, with the kingdom sequence. The first thing you check is to see how many of these little tokens are here on the Lord stack. Now, if there is none, these guys come out, and these are the big bosses. But if there is any, then this one will come off. And one will come off every round until they're all removed. Once they're all removed, you simply place down lords equal to the amount of players in play. Here we go, the king, and then we've got Hung Wei Lo the giant. I'll let you think about that as you will. Then, after that, we go for the elites domain populated to the number of players plus 1. So, elites, number of players, 2. Plus 1. Now the elites are full. Then the minions, which is 2 times the number of players. Just like that. Check for victory. Now see if anybody has that 20 glory required to win. This guy's got 11. This guy's got 2. So nope, not close enough. refresh all the fatigue cards, or cards that were turned over sideways, just like this. So now they're ready to go again. And after that, you return to your play sequence by checking who has the most glory, which maybe would be this person right here, and then proceeding clockwise and collecting things or fighting or battling and that kind of thing. And that's the idea of the game, the two sequences, going back from the turn sequence where you're purchasing the spells, where you're devoting minions, where you're fighting minions, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you know the basic turn order, how the game works, and you understand the idea of the kingdom phase and how you have to refresh everything and untap everything or unflip everything. But what I didn't really discuss all that much was how to devote characters to you or how to fight them. Now, they're both very, very simple and very, very similar. On the top left-hand corner of all of the cards, specifically the minions and the elites, are going to be a fight, the strength symbol, the sorcery symbol, and the glory symbol. Now, if you want to acquire glory, you have to kill monsters. And to acquire glory, you simply spend the amount of strength and sorcery, and then take the amount of glory indicated on the card. And then you would go and get that. Or if you wanted to maybe obtain the card so you can gain its boon, which hopefully will be over here, you can see. Then you got, maybe for here, you have to actually spend 2 glory, 6 sorcery, and 2 might. And when you do that, this guy goes onto your side of the field and can be used just like your champion to tap or to rotate or to sleep to gain that extra boon so you can get that extra stuff for the next round. Not only that, but you can also use that stuff like I said before. You can spend 3 of any currency in any shape or manner to acquire spell cards. The spell cards can be played during your turn. They can be played at the beginning of turn sequences. And they do a lot of cool stuff. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of these. Nerd Rage, playing this card in response to an opponent playing a spell. Once that spell's affinity... only that spell's affinity takes place, which means the affinity of a card is very interesting. In the bottom right-hand corner of all the spell cards, it'll say affinity elves, or affinity humans, or monsters. If you have those characters in front of you, you'll get to actually do a bonus. I think it's you'll get to draw an extra glory or an extra. I think you get an extra one of these guys. Don't quote me. I'm not too positive, but you get a bonus. And you have to have that in front of you, basically in your kingdom. But this basically negates a card. Favored by the dice gods. Play this card when you combat or devote a creature. So whenever you're spending either glory or sorcery or might or strength, or all of the above. Reduce the cost to devote or combat a creature in any combination of might or sorcery by 4. So it reduces the cost to gain those monsters or kill them for their glory, which is really nice as well. Power Dump. Collect might or sorcery totaling 1 of your devoted minions or elite might values. Ooh, wow, that's really nice. So you can actually gain stuff from your minions that you have in play. And there's a bunch of great stuff. Combat or devote a minion devoted to another player, so you can actually kill your opponent's minions and you can take them as well. That kind of stuff. Tons of really great cards in the game. Tons of interesting mechanical strategies, basically, and how you gather the monsters. Like I said, there's 2 ways to win the game. 20 glory, or if not 20 glory, then you want to go for the Lord's ability, which is to gain a certain amount of elites and minions equal to the basic faction of this guy. So the human, you need to get 1 elite human and 2 minion humans. And if you can do that, you'll win the game. But that's the basic idea of how you play Glory. Let me tell you what I think about it. Alright, so Glory by Slightly Twisted Games. Now this game is a really fun, really interesting little tableau game. You're simply starting with 1 character, and you're progressively killing other monsters to gain their glory, in which case to gain monsters and put them in front of you. And so you can keep going up and up the ladder. So the more monsters you have in front of you, the more strength and the more sorcery you're going to have, which means that you're going to be able to purchase better things. Now you can go 2 ways about winning the game. You can obviously go for these little Lord cards right here, and if you acquire them as well as the specific factions you need, then you can win the game that way. Or if you try to go the glory route, which maybe you're just trying to bust out as much glory as possible, you could go that way as well. Another couple things I've got to mention in the rules, which are kind of relevant. They're little nitpicky things, but I thought I should mention them here. You've got glory tokens that will go on not only the elite cards, but also the Lord cards. Now, it's going to start off on the first Lord card that pops on the field and the first Elite card that pops on the field. But they're going to have little abilities on them that I thought were really interesting. For instance, this Omega Rho Kappa Pit, which is the Orc Elite, it says that Orcs cannot be devoted from the kingdom other than this card. But once you devote this guy, you have the option of putting this token down on any of the other Elites to change that aspect. So maybe you're afraid, maybe you need other Orcs, so you have to get this guy. or you want your opponents to not pick up this guy, whatever reason you might have for not having that active ability on the board, you can change it up. Or maybe your opponent wants elves, and elves are on the board, but it doesn't have this little symbol on it. You take the orcs, you switch it and put on the elves. And the lords do something very similar as well, but they're a little more dangerous. For instance, Hung Wei Lo, all players discard 1 might per devoted minion and 2 might per devoted elite. And this happens every single kingdom phase, and that's really scary. Whereas these guys just are static effects that affect everybody. They both are nasty. So I thought I'd mention that. And I think that's a really nice little addition to the game. A lot of our playthroughs, we didn't actually think about using them all that much. All we had to do was remember not to use specific things. You can't have elves right now. You can't have orcs right now. But I think that could have been used in a more beneficial manner. And I think that actually does put a lot of extra little flavor in the game. Along with not only choosing your own tableau, which has a plethora of different humans and elves and orcs and all that good stuff. But not only that, but also all the lords have specific abilities that do something nasty throughout the game, as well as the option of winning in 2 different manners is also a nice thing. Now, the art is going to be a pass, like a real hard pass, or real hard like, I think, for most people in this game. Because it's really, really cartoonish, and it is slightly twisted. These guys are slightly twisted. The cards themselves are really nice quality. The components are something the average thing you'd expect to see in a game. Now, of course, I have the prototype, so yours might be even nicer. Probably will be, since it's a Kickstarter, so don't quote me on that. But everything worked really well. The game was really flowy. The spells worked really well. We had a really good time playing it, and I don't think it is a take-that game, but it's not one of those games that you're going to be yelling at each other from across the room. Cutthroat Caverns. But honestly, this game is good fun, and it's really simple to understand once you get the basics going on. And I really enjoyed a lot of aspects about this game. Now, a couple things I will say on the negative is, personally, for me, the art didn't do it for me. I had no interest in the art. But a lot of my reviewers really did enjoy the art. The gameplay itself was good and solid and worked. But to me, I think the minions could have had a little extra added to them. I feel like they were just kind of, I guess they are generic minions, so that's the idea. But the elites and the lords were so much more interesting to play with and screw your opponents around with. And I really like the spell cards. The spell cards were really, really cool as far as stealing your opponent's minions or killing them. So they're just about to win the game when they got the 2 humans, and then they got the Lord human, and all they need is that elite, and then you kill their minion human. Oh, it drives them nuts. I wish people in my playgroup played with these more. Now, I'm going to guess that your group will probably be a little more intelligent when it comes to grabbing these spell cards, but who knows. Either way, a very, very nice game, and I really, really do enjoy Glory by Slightly Twisted Games. Alright guys, thanks for watching another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter card game review. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, don't forget to check out the rest of our videos here on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment, as well as checking out the Slightly Twisted Games Glory right down below in the description, where you can go ahead and see what their stuff is like on Kickstarter. It should be open today, or yesterday, or maybe 20 days ago, depending on when you watch this. Either way, we appreciate you coming and watching, and I hope you check out our content at unfilteredgamer.com. We've got tons of blogs, Kickstarter lists, our big giveaway, which we're actually featuring the Board Game Vault, the Cardboard Stacker, everythingboardgames.com, and many, many more. We've all came together and compiled a bunch of games, reviewer games, just like this one here. And we've basically put maybe 10 or so, and everybody can win a game. So enter it up on Unfiltered Gamer. You'll find our giveaway section. Please, please, please support all your local reviewers. These are all great guys, really nice guys, and they're all donating games simply for the heck of it for our Tabletop Day weekend. All right, guys, check out our affiliated websites over here. Go ahead, do that down here in the description. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you again next time, and take care.